Alright guys and gals, so I have been wanting to create a metal part for quite some time, and I'm going to try or attempt to today. My results may not be that good, however I want to take the extruder part that mounts the motor onto it. Basically it mounts your lever and feeds your filament, and I put on these free cones right here, and so that way I can use this one as the opening to pour, and I have two reliefs right here for air. And I'm going to try to mix up the plaster. I'm going to try to cast this in metal. It may work, it may not work. It's just going to be an experiment mainly. So hopefully it works. Maybe it will, maybe it not. I'm going to get to mixing up my creation, and we will see what happens whenever we get there. Okay, well, I tried to mix up the plaster as best I could. I looked online. There was loads of different recipes and tips and tricks on this, so I went and bought some. It's supposed to be sand, although it looked more like small rocks than fine sand.
Particles.
I mixed that with the plaster and water. I put it down in there. Hopefully I got it right. I tried coating the pan and the object so that way the mixture wouldn't just sit on them, it would spread out, and to hopefully get rid of bubbles on the inside. There's a couple of air bubbles, but there's not that many. So I can see the air holes and pouring hole, and I've shaken it, so hopefully I did it right and it'll set and it'll dry, and I can go to the next stage, which is getting the plastic out and then pouring and then breaking it. And if it was a success, I'll have a nice metal part that I can then clean off the pour and the air hole metal that come up. And once I get that cleaned off, I'll have a nice metal part to put on my printer that will last a long time and will just look a bit nicer than having the plastic on it, mainly because I have the metal arm, so it'll kind of match a little bit. Not exactly, but it'll sort of match. So I guess I will come back after it's either hard or not hard. Alrighty, so as you can see, it's still a little bit more than satin. Like I was saying earlier, the kitchen was pretty busy and the camera was needed in other places. So it set, I heated it up. You can see where the plastic was burned out. I then melted down pewter, poured the pewter into this hole, and you can see where it's come up out of this one, and it's mostly come up out of this one. So I'm hoping that inside this is my part and that it's in good quality, and so all I have to do then is cut these right here off and sand it down. So it's interesting how well it molded the little pie pan that I used to hold the part. So you can actually see where some of the rocks are poking through, because that was not fine sand at all. So I guess we'll cut back to this in a second. I'm going to smash it on the ground. We'll see what comes out. Alrighty, now to probably the funnest part and the most nerve-wracking part, actually breaking this open. And I actually might have enough pewter for another one of these. Not that I need another one, but I'd love to have somebody take my design and make an aluminum one. I'd really like to have an aluminum version, just because. And I need to scare the cat. Go on. Get out of here. You don't want to be near this whenever it breaks. So, point it like right there. Whoa! Look at that. It looks like I'm going to throw it harder. I thought it would. Alright, I'm going to throw it harder. Okay, it still hasn't. I'm getting there, but... Well, she did a little bit of a runaway up underneath the vehicle, but we're starting to see actual print quality here. And it sounds like there's a car coming. So, car side. You can see where it captured the lines of the 3D print. I saw some 3D prints earlier with that same effect. And we'll eventually get it. If I have to go get some tools, I will. But we will crack. And you can see one of them rocks right there. So far it is looking okay. I wonder how bad the shrinkage is. Look at that right there. I hope the shrinkage isn't bad on this. I mean, I did not increase the size of the model just because how small it was. But okay, I'm gonna clean this up, and whenever we get back, I'll show you it without all the plaster on it. Okay, so I got the rest of the wait a minute,
plaster.
Got tongue tied there. Yeah, plaster. Got the rest of the plaster off of the pewter, and it molded mostly fine, except for there's one point right there. There's a gap in between my hole where you stick in the PTFE tube for the flexible, so you can print flexibles more successfully. There's a little bit of a gap there. A tube might still fit in it. I don't know for sure. And for comparison, here is one of the plastic ones. And as you can see, it did this one, and this was the spout, the pouring hole, and these were both just risers. And it did this one really good. It hardly caught this one. So I'm lucky it caught it, because that means that it got most of this. It may have been why it didn't get that little detail. But other than that, it is pretty close.
Show us on the red one where you said it didn't get.
Right here.
Oh,
It's
okay.
solid.
Yeah, I see it.
Well, on that one it's not. The PTFE tube might still work. If not, I'm pretty certain at least filament will still go through it. So I just need to get rid of the spout and the risers and see if she fits. So that was it for now. I'm going to put this model up on Thingiverse if anybody wants to print it and try it themselves. Like I said, I don't know about shrinkage on a part this small. Okay, so as you can see, I've taken off the spout and the risers as best as I can for right now. And she doesn't look too good, but right now we are more worried on function than the looks of it. So what I want to do is I'm going to try to fix this hole in the mold, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. I mean, filament does pass through just fine without coming out of it, and my PTFE tube does stick into this. However, I just want to make sure that it doesn't come loose by closing that. And I would put my extruder level arm on here and show you it, but I got a stripped screw right now, so I'm waiting on replacements for that. And there's actually a good reason to upgrade from the printed parts. So here is a printed part. This is the one that I took pictures of for the Thingiverse, and I've been using this for a while, and it fits on there. However, it's been putting tension on this plastic for so long that this V bearing has started to actually dig into the plastic part. And what I've noticed more and more is my filaments are grinding more than they used to be. So much so that the Velcro strip cannot get it all out, and I will often end up with pieces of filament from where it's been ground up on my build plate. And whenever I take the extruder apart, so there's actually good reason to upgrade from a printed part, especially if you have a micro swift arm like I have, because, well, even if you didn't have one of these, this is metal, this is plastic, and your spring is going to be pushing metal into plastic, and the metal will win. So hopefully, because this is pewter, it'll last longer before that wear starts to happen, because I know pewter is a soft metal, so I'm just hoping that it'll last longer than this. If I had an aluminum one, it would last a lot longer than that. So I just put this screw in right now to show you it screwed together, and we can spin. So we can spin it backwards, we can spin it forwards with our fingers, which is good because that means that we're not scrubbing, or we're not scrubbing too bad on this actual part. And I was worried about that because of the metal doing shrinkage. However, it doesn't seem to be bad enough because screw holes line up. Although I do kind of have a little bit of an arch down here from the part. It fits on here just fine, but there's a little weird arch underneath it there. I don't know if you can see that. Like, it's not right here that's cut out. It's like arches up. That's just something weird I noticed. So, gonna try to maybe get it cleaned up as best as I can. Gonna try to fix that. Gonna try to get it cleaned up. Going to get new screw, put it all together, put it on my machine, see how well it does, and hopefully it'll do well, and people can actually download it, cast their own metal versions of it, so that way they'll have their own and they don't have to print out plastic ones. Because printing out new parts is great because you can do it over and over, but the wear on plastic from the metal, I just want it to last longer. So that's about it for right now. Alright, there's the part. It's been on there for a couple of days. I got my screws and I put it on there, and I've been doing some prints with it, and it prints mainly just fine. So it's pewter. I managed to fix the bottom a bit where it didn't cast, and as you can see, I have it on my one hand. Sorry for the shaky part of this video, I'm just holding the camera though. So just wanted to put an end on this, in that I have it on the printer and I'm printing with it now. So now I have this metal, although it's aluminum, and this metal, and it's pewter. So adds a little bit of weight, but hopefully it'll last longer than the plastic one whenever it comes to this lever biting into it. So thanks for watching.